This is deep dish, right?
Yeah, well, let's get deep.
So I'm going deep on both sides.
Quez Cantrell, man, welcome to the platform. How you doing?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm excited to be here, bro.
Man,
I've been looking forward to this.
Hey, man, look, dog. I'm glad that you're here. I'm ready to get into all your deep, darkest secrets.
Hey, and I've been in the shadows working, so I got them. Trust me.
Yeah, man. Hey, nah, man. One, we love to give people their flowers, man. So I'm gonna give you yours now, man. Just I appreciate what you represent for the city, for the music culture, your music, the artwork of just what you do, the topics that you cover and how they cover. And I appreciate the opportunity to have been a part of some of the things you got coming out with your last project. Yeah. That you did. Can't wait for people to see that. Check that out. Yeah. But man, how's life been, man?
Up and down, bro. It's been a roller coaster, a real EQ, highs and lows. But man, it's really just giving me an opportunity to just grow, man. You know what I'm saying? Grow, go through some hardships, come out on top. You know what I mean? So
right.
I can't complain at all, man.
Man, for people who don't really know much about you or just being kind of introduced to you, like in this type of way,
for sure.
Man, give people a little bit of info about where you grew up in Nashville and what was that like?
So I grew up out east. I say out east. If you ask 3 or 4 different neighborhoods where I'm from, they'll say I'm from there. Or
right.
I've spent time there. So my family originally, my mom and dad met in the projects. South 8, James Casey. So I grew up over there for the earlier part, Panorama and Inglewood. And then. Right off Lishy, I lived on Edwin right off Lishy, so I got the full experience of all the neighborhoods of out east. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I feel like that's why I'm well rounded, well versed, but also well known. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to, just by moving around for different reasons, sports or whatever the case may have been, I got to meet a lot of people. My network is just went crazy from that.
Man, how was it going out east back in those 90s, 2000s, man?
I would say the 90s, it was more like family. You know what I'm saying? Or from what I know, because I was so young, I didn't really delve into what was going on outside for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The 2000s was a little different because it was our teen years, and the city was running wild. You know what I'm saying? It was running wild. So I mean, it was a lot of what was it, 06, 07 up to 2010. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot going on. I lost a lot of friends, lost a lot of people. But a lot of those situations really brought a lot of people together, you know, and it made us stronger, even though that's trauma bonding. You know what I'm saying? It may be a trauma bond, but still, we got something to hold on to together.
Man, growing up, you know what I'm saying, in the projects, a lot come with that. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot.
Yeah.
Man, how do you think that just affected you in your adolescent years and just growing up and what you seen, what you heard, things that you might have done or didn't do?
I think it normalized a lot that ain't normal. You know what I'm saying? I think when I talk to people about my life, to me it's normal.
Right.
But when I see that reaction, I've talked to just telling somebody about my life.
Give us an example. What would you say? Something that'll blow, like, probably not for us, but like somebody that might not, you know what I'm saying, they grew up on the other side.
Yeah. What came to mind, because is that one's super personal, but I guess I would just say, I've been shot at, I've been around shootings, I've been around all the deals. I done seen every drug there is. I done seen the walls stacked full of money, you know, and I'm talking about before I'm 10.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think like I said, it just normalized shit, and it kind of, so when I see people and I tell them my story, I was telling one of my about, really just, it was about a string of things, how my father went to prison, and then came home, and then him and my older brother went to prison in my freshman year of college, both of them, you know what I'm saying? And my younger brother, he's a football star in the city, well known, but he's also, known gangbanger, you know what I'm saying? He really ripping and running the streets. So, and then telling people all of these dynamics, it's so many, I feel like to tell my story, I don't even know if I'd be able to, because there's so much to it, you know what I'm saying? Just because of my connections to other people that I'm an empath, so I feel what they feel. Plus, their hardships are my hardships because they go through something, I'm kind of picking it up, you know what I mean?
Man, growing up in that dynamic, right, did you ever feel pressure, or did you ever feel like you wanted to go a particular route?
I feel like I was
saying?
supposed to.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I feel like, it's like I feel like the the Waltons, the own Walmart, they don't grow up thinking about working at Target.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They grow up thinking about the family business, what they see everybody do. And I can literally say that I didn't have anybody push that on me. My parents, my dad, uncles, cousins, everybody told me that you don't have to do that. You don't have to feel pressure or the pull, but you feel the pull. It's kind of like gravity because you're around it. You known for that. So you see you out, you're gonna run into your father's people, your brother's people, and you mingle in there, you feel me? And you feel that obligation to do that. So my whole life, I really felt that pull to just be a part of, you know what I'm saying? The streets, you know what I mean? And everything that come with it. And I had to like consciously, probably around 13, 14, make a decision to say that I got to do something to change my family. Like, I really want to get my pops out the streets. So that when he come home from prison, I'm 13, he in prison. When he come home from prison, he ain't got to do this, my big brother, even when he went to prison. And so this is from 13 to me now, 32. And that dream shattered probably around 28, well, my dad passed when I was 23. Younger brother passed when I was 28. You know what I mean? So that was that shit was tough.
Damn, man. That's crazy at that age. You had the just the cognitive maturity to say, man, it's like something got to change.
Yeah.
And they got to start with me.
And I think they told me that though. Subconsciously, they told me I was different. My parents, everybody around me, my siblings, everybody, whether they said it as you different, you unique, you weird, whatever the wording was, it was something that set me apart of them. You know what I'm saying? But I was raised in the same household, so I got the same temper. You know what I'm saying? I saw the same things my brother saw. We got the same trauma, same pain.
Right.
But one of us took it to the streets. I mean, to the streets and then to prison. One of us took it to the streets and then to the grave.
Right.
And then I went from not necessarily we all ripped and ran the streets. You know what I mean? But it was more so of I just knew I was gonna go to college.
Right.
One of my cousins got a story that she said I was like 10 years old and she just woke up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m, and she like, what are you doing up? And she said, I asked her, how many credits do you need to graduate college? And I was like 10, 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? And she said she was just like, that day I just knew it was something. I don't know what it was, but like, because I had never heard, I might have been younger than that. You know what I'm saying? But her letting me know that, I didn't remember it. I was like, damn, there's always been something there that was seeking other avenues. You know what I mean?
Man, that's wild, man. Yeah. So pivoting to music, right? You have all of these like crazy dynamics, right? Yeah. So when did you start realizing like you can put a lot of this trauma, this dynamic experience, lived experience, this joy too, right? Yeah. This knowledge and this things you're picking up. When did you realize that like the art form of like rap is something that you could start like kind of release?
For sure.
Yeah, release a lot of stuff that you had in that art form.
I would say probably around 9 or 10 years old. When I was younger, I had a cousin who he was just the cool. He was cool. He was when he drew everything. He could draw any shoe, any artist. He had every Martin episode tape. You know what I'm saying? He was a cousin that introduced us to culture. So, we would go around him. That's the first time I ever heard myself play on playback, where just rapping through the karaoke machine. When he recorded it. I'm like, wow, that's me. That's what I sound like this time. Terrible. You know what I'm saying? And I think so from that point and through school, I would always rap. Right. Beating on the table. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was a part of that group all the way through school, you feel me? And I was a part of that group all the way through school. Damn, I went blank. What was we talking about? I knew I was going to do that.
What kind of led you to, you know what I'm saying, start music? Yeah.
So around 13, 7th, 8th grade, I ended up going over one of my homies' house, Stanley. Shout out to Stanley, Young Blue.
Yeah. That's the famo.
That's the fam out in California. I done been out there to record with him, but the first time I ever recorded was in his bedroom, and I asked my mama, could I go over his house for the weekend? My mama was skeptical because she don't know people, she don't trust people, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we went over there, we made like 3 songs that weekend, you know what I mean? And I was just kind of hooked from there, bro. It was like, Like, and I wrote, even in those songs, I think one of the songs was actually about my dad being in prison. You know what I'm saying? I think I wrote to Through the Wire, and I used Song Cry, the hook, and I just switched the words up to make it more specific for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was 13 writing about pretty much what I'm writing now. You know what I'm saying?
And so it was a period you went to Austin P. You know, computer science.
Yeah, computer science double major.
Double major, and like you started, you know, doing, you know, web development, websites and stuff like that. During that time, was you still kind of focused on music, or was you one foot in, one foot out?
I was no feet in. So 13 started. I would say around 15, 16, I just got hooked on football. You know what I'm saying? I came in, went to Hunters Lane, started, made all state, all city, Hume Award winner in the city, which is a big thing in Nashville, you know what I'm saying? And all of those things. So my focus wasn't really on that, but I always wrote. I done always been a writer, you know what I'm saying? I used to have rap books of other rappers' raps, you know what I mean? I would sit down and write a Tupac song word for word, you know what I mean? Kanye West, Jay-Z, I would do that. So I always had that, but it was more so me, like even coming out of school and getting into web development, I done it for artists. You know what I'm saying? I done it for Petty. I done it for Stan. I do it for AC. I done it for AC Noel. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to work with some of these people. So my network in that industry grew. So it kind of showed itself to me that like, damn, this is possible. I could really do something with this if I want. And once I sat down, started writing, it kind of just flowed. It's like everything, like a dam. It's like everything that I had been wanting, because I wasn't, you know, I would write raps here and there, but it wasn't about how I was feeling. It was about, damn, that's a hard bar. You know what I'm saying? It was the punchline, New York punchline rap. But once I got more into like writing, just regardless of what the bar is, what am I saying? You know what I'm saying? And once I got into that, and I wrote my first song, which was Max Contracts, and that I was like, okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Next song I wrote 9. You know what I mean? And then from there, it was just a snowball effect that kept going. I was hooked after that. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I was like, I was enjoying it. You feel me? I'm a fan of music. So I was like, man, if I enjoy this, I feel like other people can too. You know? So that made me take. Plus, I felt the pull to do it. Like, you know, I know a lot of people say this, but I feel like this is what God called me to do. You know what I'm saying? For so many reasons. And it just made sense. And it showed itself to me. The vision showed itself to me, and it was my job to put it into words and show it to the world. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And so you went all the way in. What year is this?
2018.
2018.
End of 2018. So you might as well say 2019.
2019, right? 2019. So during that time, right? Like your father had passed away. Your brother had passed away.
Not yet.
Not yet. Your brother had passed away.
He passed July of 2019.
2019. So a year. So
I was probably, I mean, so that's 7 months, so 8 9 months into just writing, not even letting anybody know I'm doing this though. I'm just writing. You know what I'm saying?
How's that tragedy, man? Prior and after you started really writing, how did that affect your art form and where you was mentally, and what did you start writing about?
I wrote a lot about death, a lot about loss. But I would say prior to that, I felt like I was seeing something other than work, corporate America for the first time. That was me. It was the first time that I could feel like I was showing the world who Quez is, you know. Really, not just like the accomplishments. I graduated, I'm this, I'm a father, I'm a son, but like who am I at the core of it? You know what I'm saying? That's the answer I'm still trying to figure out today. But so before, it was just like trying, like, okay, I think I can do it. But when my brother passed, I had like such a breakdown that was the only thing that made me feel okay. Even, and this is, you know, a lot of people probably won't understand this. I'm a father. I love my daughter to death, but I couldn't get that joy. I didn't get the joy from her.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It actually made me feel more pain because she knows her uncle.
Right.
She talks to me about her uncle.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So her and the rest of my nieces and nephews had to experience that too. So I took a lot of that on myself, a lot. And I started doing a lot of self-destructive things to keep myself docile because I was so angry. I was so angry, bro. I was angry to a point I ain't been before. You know what I'm saying? And that scared me because once you get there, you know you can get there.
Right.
And even to make the decision in my head to say, I know what I'm finna do because of that.
Right.
It wasn't no question about it. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
And to walk myself back from that and the guilt that you feel because I got a daughter and I was finna throw it all away.
Right.
I got a family at home that I'm taking care of and I was finna throw it all away.
Right.
So it's layers. It's the pain. It's the trauma. It's the anger. It's the guilt. It's so many layers to it because of the connections. I gotta look at my mom deal with it.
Right.
I got my other brother in prison and he's dealing with it by himself.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Everybody in my family was dealing with it. My internal household dealt with it because how hard I took it. So it
Right.
made my relationship hard. It made it hard to be a parent. It made it hard for me to go to work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I became a completely different person. But musically, it just put something in me, bro. And, you know, from 2019 to this point, recently I've taken a little more of a break or giving myself more time to break. But as soon as that happened, I hit the ground running. And I ain't take time to heal. I didn't take time to grieve. I didn't take time to do nothing that I need to do for that.
Right.
I just put it all into this because that was the only thing making me feel okay.
So, would you say even today, like, you still not fully healed from that situation?
Not at all. I don't think I've ever healed from anything because I don't know what healing is. I don't have the playbook. I'm learning now because what I thought healing was is when I'm not sad about it anymore, I'm good.
Right.
When I can go a day and I didn't cry about it, I'm good.
Right.
And then the next week, I take a complete dive and I'm rock bottom again. And I'm just laying there in my thoughts, not showering, not cleaning up,
Right.
not feeding myself. I got down to like 205 at one point. And at the highest, I was 295. Right now, I'm 225. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I got down to 205. People telling me, you look sick. My eyes always look a certain way. I was smoking so much. So my mouth, my face, everything just looked off about me. And I could see the pain that I was bringing to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, how did you bounce back and recover from that? Like, was it a support, you know what I'm saying, system? Was it you kind of just having to figure it out on your own? You know, a lot of people, you know, go to therapy. Like, so what was your therapy?
At the time, it was just the music. Music and marijuana. That was it. That's all it was, music and marijuana.
That sounds like a track right there.
Yeah, it do. And it probably is going to be one. Yeah, I just caught that. You know what I'm saying? But that's all it was for me, man. And I just literally sat on my patio every day with my headphones in and just smoked and wrote as much as I could until I was tired. You know what I mean? And I'm a father, so just imagine I'm sitting out here on the patio doing this the whole time. You know, my daughter's been taken care of in the house and I'm just stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And that was a hard time, bro, for me because it's like I want to do everything that I can, be there for everybody, which when it happened, I was. Right. And that's kind of what made me break so much because I didn't take that second to just check in with me and see how I was doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, because we not taught that. We kind of just taught like, suck it up, next man up, go play ball. You know what I mean? Right. And that was kind of what happened with me over those following months. But the raps became like, even on 9, the first project, the entire project was wrote before my brother passed away, with the exception of one verse, the second verse of Creeping at My Window. You know, at first they would knock, now they ringing. That's how I keep heads. I stay ahead when I done picked up some new demons through this little turbulent season. You know what I'm talking about? Grieving, you feel me? So it's like, it hit in a different way and it poured out of me and it made me more aggressive. I got to pour that aggression into something. Right. So I became like a gorilla on some tracks. That second verse on Creeping in My Window, I let it all out. Right. You feel me? And you can tell. You know what I mean?
Man, so you 2 feet in now. You all the way into music at this point.
Yes, sir.
Man, what is the responses that you're getting from peers, friends, just the streets, the community in general? Like, what are the responses? Like what grade are people giving you at this time? What grade are you giving yourself? I
don't even think I was grading my paper yet. I think I was still studying for the test, you know, in my mind. Yeah. But I put it out there. Like the first thing I done was a Middle Child freestyle with J. Cole. And that I was just literally, one day I'm finna go to what's called, I heard the song and I connected to it because I'm a middle child. Right, me and I'm too. Like, damn. Middle child, yep. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm listening to him. I honestly, I probably got about halfway through the song and I said, all right. I just stopped listening to him and I'm rapping in my head. Yeah. And then I'm like, I'm looking for the instrument. It came out that day. Instrumental ain't out. came out the next day, went, got it, wrote it, recorded it in the car, and it kind of just like, it spread from there because it's like, this is the first time people ever saw me in that light. Some people never heard me talk up to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people never even heard my voice or heard me, just communicated with me, you know? So that was a shock to people, but it was all positive feedback because what I was saying in there, it was more so people shocked. They was like, bro, I know you. I know your people. You didn't tell one lie in that song. You didn't tell. You wrote all y'all life story. My whole family was kind of shocked because they like, nah, that's true. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it was all positive, and then I started doing a little more freestyles here and there, and then every one of them was still like up to par. So the streets was kind of just like, okay, Quez doing music. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of carried on till the project came out. When the project came out, you know, my brother, he was locked up in the feds, but he got to listen to it in there, passing it around to the inmates in there. So the day it came out, I got more attention from federal prison and people calling me and telling me like, dawg. One dude called me, he said, man, bro, I ain't listened to no music in probably from the last 15 years just because I don't like what they talking about. I don't like where the music going. But what you put in there, bro, he said, bro, that touched me, bro. You didn't tell nothing but the truth. Keep doing what you're doing. So you keep hearing everybody say, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Like I felt like giving up before. I swear to God, I almost quit this shit 1,000 times, you know, because it would be easier to just turn the blind eye to what I'm being called to do. Right. But it's gonna come back around. It's gonna come back around. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And it's like it ain't like your shit just always easy. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's like you get your trials and tribulations like anything else, and especially when like it's on you. You're an independent artist. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make things shake for yourself.
And I'm still learning that. I think I was running that first leg on all adrenaline just from my brother's situation. And when I burnt out and I had to have a structured system for what I do to be able to reproduce it, I couldn't. So it took me longer to put a video out. It took me longer. It took me 1.5 years to roll out 9 all the way. You know what I'm saying? But that made me it touched so many more people than it would have if I would have stopped that first month. Right. I went to LA out there passing out CDs. It's people out there actually listening to my music. Right. I'm sitting having conversations. They play it in their car in front of me. Right. Gang bang. You know what I mean? Right. Niggas tatted. One dude just got out that day, gave him the CD. He played it right in front of me, came back, we was at Denny's. He said, nah, bro, you nice, bro. Where you from? Follow me and all that. So it's like, that showed me that it wasn't a communal thing. Right. You know, my community can empower me because they're gonna empower because they feel like you empower the community if you empower the person. You dig what I'm saying? But these are people on the other side of the country. You know what I mean?
You back in it, you know, you traveling the West Coast, passing out your CDs and everything. You know, you coming back to the city, you know, and Nashville has a unique relationship with rap, hip hop, right? Historically,
for sure.
You know,
that's the black period.
Yeah, just black. Yeah, just culture, anything blackness, and you know everything. I like to say, everything like we population wise, right? We're a white city, but we're really a black city. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the artist, there's so many artists preaching that message right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what 9 was. It was just talking straight to blackness about living in this overbearing whiteness that we live in.
Right. You know? And so being in music now, really all the way in, when did you start to realize like kind of some of the difficulties of trying to pretty much like break through that country music ceiling cloud and really like, damn, like, all right, well, I know Memphis and Atlanta right down the street, but they artists ain't that. They ain't like that. It ain't like they just conclusively just better than us.
For sure.
Like that. Like so. What? So say that. What's going on here? And so when did you start to realize like this kind of vortex that all hip hop black artists have to kind of deal with here in Nashville?
Way before I was an artist.
Really?
Like I grew up in Nashville hip hop culture, going all the way back to South 8 Mafia.
Right.
You feel me? My pops used to have boxes of South 8 Mafia merch at our house, and my little brother stole a hat. South 8 Mafia hat, took it to the skating ring, and got us pulled out because we was in there throwing up South 8. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it goes back to that. But then I come up and I work in the street team for El Roy the Boy, my sophomore year of high school. So I'm wearing the El Roy the Boy t-shirt, selling CDs. I done been seeing the game the whole time. And I think once I started, I came back to the city and, me and Petty really kind of like, I came back to the city and was able to do the computer, the website and that type stuff. So I was able to be around the conversations a little more. I was able to see the hardships that they have, like getting a venue. Just getting anything from that side, everything has to be in-house and created upon ourselves because we don't have access to the machine that is literally in our backyard. That shit is crazy to me. You know what I mean?
So what have been some of the ways that you've seen or even done so yourself to navigate, like just pretty much just straight out kind of just neglect, discrimination, that the industry here, the system here has kind of just perpetuated?
I was just honest from the jump. I ain't come out trying to make friends. I just told the truth of what I know to be true here from my experience. And I knew if I done that, I would speak your experience and anybody Black's experience.
Right.
And they don't have to be from Nashville, but if they understand the Nashville culture, they'll know that he telling the truth.
Right.
This is what we experience. And it goes beyond music. It's in politics. It's in the education system.
Right.
It's in policing. It's in housing. Right. It's literally and I learned about racism on many, many levels in college. On a white campus in an African-American studies class. Shout out to Johnny Jones. He was my teacher. And he that's the first time I heard about what white flight was.
Right.
It's the first time I heard about what gentrification was. Right. First time I heard about red zoning and all of these different things. And it's like, that made me think about, damn, is that going on in my city? And then when I came home, I learned the history a little more. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I think from the jump, I was just trying to be honest and like inform us because I knew that once I learned the history of Blackness in Nashville, I felt empowered. Right. I felt more connect. I didn't feel a connection to the city. I felt a connection to the people before. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now that I understand what really happened to us, how this shit was stolen right under our feet, how the cool was stolen right under our feet and capitalized on, it made me angry, but it made me want to just tell more truth. You know what I'm saying? And be like, it's almost like vulgar with the truth. You know what I'm saying? Blatant, over, like, I don't care how you feel about it, because sometimes we so hands off with racism. We try to be, we need to attack it head on. Right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing but a conversation. You may not agree, but once you hear me, you're gonna understand.
Right. You know? And you can disagree but understand somebody.
For sure.
For those out there that's watching and listening, it's okay to disagree, but you can still understand.
Bro, this time. God. Man, they almost make you afraid to have an opinion.
Yeah. Not like I wholeheartedly believe that I might not agree with you, but I could understand where you're coming from if we have a conversation. And I'm open to listen. Yeah. Right? And I can say, well, Quez, I don't always agree with you, but based on what you told me, I now understand why you feel the way you do and have your opinion. For sure. And that's cool. And vice versa. Right?
And that's all we should do as people.
That's all.
And not me hate you because you think something different than me. That is crazy.
That's easy to do too. That's why people do it. It's easy. It's real easy.
It's easy to fall in line.
It's easy to fall in line, and it is hard to really challenge yourself and reflect on your own lack of perspective and exposure. Accountability.
Say, man, I didn't know that. Yeah, I was completely wrong about that.
Or just want to listen, right? A lot of people like to talk.
Yeah.
Well, most people like, you sit back and listen, then you have a better understanding. Then you can communicate whatever you choose to communicate in a more articulate way. Yeah. Where it can be a conversation instead of a debate or argument. Even if you do agree, you can disagree. It can still be a conversation, a wholesome, healthy. Even it can still be tense. Yeah. It can be a healthy tense. Yeah. And go on from there. And so, being in the core of the hip hop scene here, what are some of the conversations that you've been a part of or that you're hearing about, like, where the hip hop scene is going, where the hip hop community, what should we be doing, how are people building together? Because I think there's powers in numbers, it's people power. And I think a lot of times Nashville, within our own city and own culture, we always hear like, oh, people don't want to work together, which I think is mostly false than true. Yeah. Or, people just want to do do stuff on their side of town, and that, you know what I'm saying, that might be true and false.
Yeah.
But I feel like we hear about all the tension and how people don't want to work together, or not want to work together because that gets clicks and stuff. But like I'm more interested in like how people building to alleviate that narrative and build a different narrative, and kind of, what do you see that going?
Yeah, I think everybody just realizes that like it's a hell of an opportunity right now. It's a lot of attention on Nashville hip hop, and I feel like we were part of the ones who came up with first. Said it's a renaissance. We've been calling this Nashville hip hop scene a renaissance since 2010,
right.
2011, 2012, 2013. Like, you know, we was back then saying that it was coming, and that's when now it's blown up. We got the younger generations coming up that's got literally dope artists. You feel me? And you know, I mean, there is some truth to like some people not wanting to work with certain people.
But that's everywhere though.
Yeah, that's with everything though. That's
right.
okay. But I feel like from the main thing, that's you got people, you got who is it? You know, you got Tribe, you know, Third Eye Tribe, you got 10, you feel me? You got what's the other one? It was just on the 6-1 Tribe. You know what I'm saying? I mixed it. You got 6-1 Tribe, then you got Third Eye. And yeah, but you know, so you got these collectives of people who come together and they go further. They push the narrative. And I'm still trying to figure that out on myself, on how to be a part of just how to work with people, because I feel like I'm still a new artist, even though I've been doing this I came out during the pandemic.
Right.
So I didn't get to jump straight in it and go and experience all this because the world shut down. I got to sit back and learn how to become a rapper and an artist, and then how to put that together in the real world, you know. So, but yeah, I think the collective idea or the collective identity is starting to shape itself. It's not one sound. It's more just quality music at the end of the day. I think everybody makes their own quality of their own story, and we all can validate it because, you know, growing up here, the city's big and small. You dig what I'm saying? So we all have a lot of the same experiences.
Man, do you feel like I can't remember who said it, but it was in an article that I read. It was like, hey, Nashville doesn't really have a sound like a hip hop. Like we don't like everybody's uniquely do it. We got which benefits us, right? But I think it could also hurt us.
For sure.
That's my perspective. Because like, you know, a lot of cities have like Atlanta, we know Atlanta sound. Memphis, we know like
yeah.
And it seems like Nashville sound, like I feel like we battling a lot of times because we have the quote unquote like backpack sound, conscious, like, and then we have street. Yeah. Right. And those two
don't mesh
well. They don't.
We like, I've tried it. I've been on certain. I feel like I don't even want to say I'm on one side or the other. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I straddle the line a little bit.
You in the middle.
You know,
I would say you in the middle.
Yeah. So it's like I can be a part of this show or that show, and it can. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that, you know, we all grew up at the same centers. Right. You know, we all got a brother that's a thug. We all got a cousin that's a nerd. You know, we all got a cousin that's an artist. You know what I'm saying? We got all that. So, and it's all coming from the same institution of Nashville that we know. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think, man, I would like to challenge just our hip hop culture, man, to like kind of look at like use the diversity for good, and like. It don't have to be just because they a quote unquote backpack rapper. Like it ain't got to be no tension because you're a street rapper or vice versa. Because we see it in the industry, we see a 21 Savage hop on a J. Cole song
for sure,
and he switch it up. Or we see a little baby hop on, like, and they switch and they kill it, and it's appreciated. Or vice versa. Yeah, you'll see a J. Cole hop on something like a Money Bag Yo and go ham, and like just really talk that shit. Yeah, right. And so, man, I would encourage us to do the same thing here.
I don't know what disconnect to point to for that reasoning. I think like even if you look, it's just a difference in mentality, I guess I would say. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can even look back historically. You got like W.E.B. Du Bois and the Talented Tenth. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the difference between the bourgeoisie and the, you know what I mean? And this and that. So it's like you got those even within races, you have classes. You have
Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You got, but they're both so necessary. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like the backpack side is necessary because they're giving a voice to a kid who's gonna grow up to be a backpacker.
Right.
You know what I mean? The street side is necessary because they're giving a voice to a kid who's gonna come up in the streets.
Right.
What you saying is what he's seeing.
Right.
And I hope when you know that as that side, you put more on yourself to empower that child rather than send him down a road of destruction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can be both.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
That's the yin and the yang.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's especially when, like me and you have similar upbringings where we seen a lot. We have brothers that did a lot, and family members that did a lot, but we didn't particularly you automatically just in it. So you gonna mix it, mingle, but you make a decision like I'm gonna pivot a different way. But I'm about that. But I'm gonna pivot a different way, and so that's why I think we can. Don't get it confused now.
No killers.
Right? Yeah. Right. Don't get it confused now. But it's like check the jacket, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, but you can be comfortably in that like you have your side.
Yeah.
Where your side is, I fuck with y'all and I fuck with y'all and really somebody like yourself can bring parties together.
Yeah.
And say, hey man, y'all grew up with you, I know you was doing that. I grew up with you too. You know what I'm saying? And like I think it'd be dope if y'all did something together.
Yeah. And I guess that's what it takes is just the people who see the connections that make sense. Or just, each side kind of getting over their pride of the difference between us and coming together and see. Like, I would love to hear, like, Ski and Brown on a song together, dog. You know what I'm saying? I would love to hear, like, ABK Gates and Mike Floss on a song together or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just like those type of thoughts to me is like things that I always saw. You feel me?
Right.
And the way that we make a collective, because we all a collective, but when we split them into two different ones, you splitting the pot on people who even gonna listen to one side or the other. You know what I'm saying? And like everything ain't for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is okay. Yeah.
But I think there's things if you stand on this side, I feel like there are things over there that you would enjoy if you being honest with yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
And I think it goes back to like you can I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan.
For sure.
Right. Shout out to him.
Well, I am. I'm
right.
not speaking.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah,
So I'm
sure.
not. But I can listen to his album that he just dropped and appreciate the genius and appreciate like his skill.
Yeah.
But also say, well, it's not for me sonically. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm more of a, headbanger. And, I don't want to snap my fingers like a spoken word. I kind of want to jam. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just me.
What is it?
But that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But I can go through and say, man, dude, cold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? However, like he might not make my playlist, you know what I'm saying, all the time, but I appreciate the work and I understand the talent because I know music. I'm open enough to be like, man, like, yeah, he cold.
Yeah.
However,
I think it just comes when you down it in the sense of like, because I deserve to have an opinion. I can say this because like if I listen to an album and I don't like it, I'm probably 9 times out of 10 not gonna post and say I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna like it in my life, and I'm never gonna hear it again. And it may come back and grow on. Like a lot of albums, To Pimp a Butterfly grew on me.
Right.
I feel like that's Kendrick's second best album. You know what I'm saying? So arguably first, if
depend on who
you ask.
And I think when it comes to certain people, like, okay, there's a difference between not liking something and being a hater. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because, like I said, I can say, well, that, like, I don't like it from how my ears attract music, but I understand music enough and appreciate music enough and art, like, man, that shit is good.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just not for me, but it's good music. Like, I like millions of people are gonna enjoy this, right?
That's all it takes.
Yeah, and that's different than me saying, oh, that whole shit trash.
Yeah.
Now, come on, Jerome.
Yeah,
Like,
but I feel like that falls along in the like everything is to the extremes. Cancel culture, everything is to the extremes. It's like if I don't like it, I hate it.
Right.
And it's like I mean I might not like it, but I don't hate it.
Right.
Like, you know, he's cool. It's cool for who it's for. You know
you can give props to people and not like them. That's what it comes down to.
I feel like we should do that.
Yeah.
It ain't even gotta be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's certain people, certain artists was like, I may not really enjoy their music, but I appreciate what they put into it.
Yeah.
Because as an artist, I know what it takes to put
Right.
into it and develop what you just done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, and that's the approach I try to take with most things. Like, even if I didn't like you,
Yeah.
right? Even if I really just didn't like you, Quez, If somebody,
I don't think you could.
but if somebody asks me something about you, I'm not gonna say, man, I'm not gonna down your excellence because I just have a personal grievance with you. I'm like, nah, this shit. If they ask me specifically about something you did, oh yeah, that shit cold.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying, Quez is, especially your black man. So I have my whole code that I follow in general, but like, man, that shit good.
Yeah.
And move on.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say that shit good. However.
Yeah. However, because I just feel like I need to be heard.
Right. Nah.
You know?
So, but some people, like, you know, the
just the
floodgates are open now.
Yeah, that's just the world we live in, you know. And that, even stepping into this, I knew that was a possibility. Like, people might not like this shit.
Right.
But I don't give a damn. I'm writing my, even if it comes down to the point.
Have people told you that? Or have you read that? Or have that something you've seen?
I probably had one bad reply. That was from a show.
Okay.
But that was the only person that had that opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, but to me, that kind of gives me anxiety because it's like, if all I'm getting is good, you know, feedback, how do I grow?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or am I where I need, or why am I not progressing in the way that I should if this is as good as y'all say it is?
Right.
Or, you know, and then I start questioning myself because rap is such an internal battle. Right. You know what I'm saying? Every decision you're going to sit there and like, all right, I'm going to do it. Or you might sit there and ponder longer than that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what I always like to ask artists this, especially here in the city. You know, do you feel like you personally kind of get the credit that you deserve or the recognition for where your talent is?
I don't even hang my hat on that.
Okay.
That ain't something that's not the validation I look for.
Okay.
Or I mean, so I would say because I don't do it for media outlets. I just done it in media outlets, caught wind of it. But who I done it for, that's kind of what drives me to do it. The people who are listening to it, the people who gonna get a better sense of who Quez is, but also may get a better sense of who you are because of the struggles that I'm telling you that I've been through, and the shit that I had to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, other than that, I don't feel like
how do you measure yourself?
By my work output, by what I'm able to execute on. Okay. Not the idea, you know. In the beginning, I had idea after idea after idea after idea. Then it turns into, okay, I didn't execute that idea. So the idea ain't as important as the execution, but you can't have the execution without the idea. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit, man, because, you know, being a musician is not the easiest thing.
It's not.
Especially if you're not making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, man. So take us through that independency of having to be everything, right? And you have to be your manager. You have to be your media person, your press person, your marketing person, and the artist. You got to write the raps.
You got to write the raps.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to hit the videographer.
You got to hit the videographer. You got to you know, book shows. Yeah. And so take us through that, man, and kind of the ups and downs of that, and like how do you navigate that at this particular time, and kind of where do you see yourself? Where do you want to evolve to at some point?
Yeah. I feel like, what was the first part of that question? Because you kind of split up into two.
Yeah, so the first part is that, like, as an independent artist, the independency, like, how do you navigate all the components that come with being an independent artist?
I'm still struggling with that, bro. A lot of things right now, because I'm not just, the music is more my outlet.
Right.
The formatting it and putting it together is more of the responsibility of the calling that I feel like I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I've shunned that calling for a long time. You know what I mean? But as an independent artist, man, it ain't for the weak at all. You know what I'm saying? You're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to lose a lot of time with people that you love. You're going to lose friendships. You're going to lose relationships. Things are going to get strained. You know, I've so much as to myself asked, why did I do this before? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And had that type of struggle with myself. Even though it's something that I love, I've hated it to a point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I remember who I was before this. I was a better texter before I was an artist. You know what I'm saying? Right. I was a lot more responsive. I was a lot more available. So this was the first time I gave myself to myself fully with something. You know what I'm saying? for myself. You dig?
Right.
And as end of, like, man, it's just it. You just gotta want this shit at the end of the day. You know, you really gotta, because ain't nobody gonna call your phone and say, okay, well, how this looking? How this looking? When everything is formatting from you, and then you gotta make the call.
Right.
You gotta push the initiative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just a lot more work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's like reading the book versus the audio book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The reading the book is different. When you're an independent artist, that's how much time it's gonna take.
Right.
Every single word, you got to learn this shit so that because you might get
You gotta
burnt.
write the
in
book
it.
and read it.
You got to write the book and to print it. You got to market it. You got to brand. You got to come up with a brand to sell it under. Like it's never ending, man. You know what I'm saying? But I think that kind of to me makes it exciting because I didn't know what this side consisted of.
Right.
So I challenge myself all the time. I get to challenge myself in this and be like, is this for me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know I like it. I know I love doing it. I know people enjoy me doing it. But is this for me?
Right.
Can I form my life to still be able to do this comfortably in my household, not be in disarray?
Right.
Because I'm choosing to pursue something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Can I align this with my life and fit them seamlessly? You dig? And
Right.
I think as far as independence, that's been the hardest thing for me. Is just how do I still show up for who Quez has to be and who Quez Cantrell has to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, what have you learned about yourself that you didn't know about yourself during this journey?
I have a very big problem internally with self-talk and self-doubt. I think the self-doubt, and that's one of the things that because sports came easy. School, it was hard at points, but it was just the work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It came easy. This was the one thing that I have been so unsure of that I've even thought as to like, just question myself, should I be doing this? Is there something else I can be better serving doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You done heard we got enough rappers. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like what I need to say and what I have to say, it has somebody that needs to hear it. You know what I mean?
What makes you different? Because going to that, right? There's like a plethora of artists, right?
Yeah.
Especially in Nashville, right? People literally move here to be musicians,
For sure.
to be artists, right?
All the time, every day.
Every day, right? And so, what sets you apart from like your counterparts and your peers in this art form?
I think just my journey in, I want to say my story, but like I ain't the only one that got the story I have.
Right.
I ain't the only one that's got the pain I have or the dynamic of the pain that I have. I would say just my journey to getting to this point and how that couldn't be predicted. You know what I'm saying? That I dropped my first project literally when I turned 30. You know what I'm saying? I think just the fact that I came up through doing web development. I came up through a service. You know what I'm saying? I came
Right.
up through helping people. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how I made the connections. I think, yeah.
I mean, I gotta ask all artists this
For
question.
sure.
Where you rank yourself?
And what?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna say we're gonna keep in Middle Tennessee. Even though we know people listen to your music all over the country. What do you rank your art form and what you do, how you do it, in whatever lane you feel like you're in? Where do you rank yourself in that, as far as compared to other peers in that art form, in that lane, to what you do?
I don't really rank comparatively. I think that's I see what you're saying.
Competitively, not comparatively.
Competitively.
Where do you rank yourself competitively? Because it's a sport.
Yeah.
Like anything else, right?
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
Like,
For
so
sure.
I know, like, I want to be the best at this
Yeah.
community conversation. This,
Yeah.
like, and if somebody asks me, "What do you rank yourself?" Whether I believe it, whether it's true or not, I'm probably gonna say, "Well, I don't think nobody's doing it better than I'm doing it at this current moment." But I think it's other people that I still have some learning to grow.
sure.
I might not be the best in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there, right? And so from a competitive level, right? If you just like, you know what I'm saying, be honest. If you honest with yourself, like,
Yeah.
Jerome, this is where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
what would that response be? Knowing all the other talent that's out there,
sure.
right? Which is,
I mean, I think I'm up there with the top.
Okay.
Especially in the city, it just, you know,
Right.
it's more about attention and numbers and analytics.
Right.
But
Taking all that away.
when you look at the art form,
Right.
I don't think there's many artists in the city that have done it in the way that I've been able to do it.
Right.
And just kind of come up in the way that I've been able to do it. And even like, I feel like I'm just the only me here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody should feel that way. But I mean, I feel like at what I do it with the best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be honest, and that's not just here, but that comes with the confidence, and that comes with if I'm doing the work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing the work, I can sit here because I know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? I know what's coming down the pipe.
Right.
So it's like I can say I'm here, but I'm trying to go. It ain't really about. I'm just trying to take this and help people, man, create jobs, that type stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ultimately, what is your goal? What is like if everything was perfect, right? Which we want to get as close to that as possible. What is a perfect scenario that you have laid out for yourself and what you can make happen for others? You know, based off what you do with your music.
A label is one of the things. I feel like I'm in a position to where I could do that.
Right.
I could help other artists coming up. So that's really what I want to get into. You know what I'm saying? The label side, just the business side, and understand that. Even as an artist, I still don't have that full understanding. I'm learning as I go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But man, fully being able to fund my life now,
Right.
and my future. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To be able to secure my family and the people around me, and all the people who collectively come in to make whatever this product is that we have happen, you know.
What does Quez Cantrell need to make that happen? Like what type of support resources? Because again, like we can't do it on our own.
Yeah.
Right. And there might be somebody watching and listening to this and might say, shit, like I have something, I have resources, I have support. It's something that I can help that young man, you know, get further in his purpose.
Information.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could use is information, because I mean, other than that, you know, everything would be a boost. You feel me? Anything brought in would be a boost, especially if you have a skill. You know what I'm saying? Or you have a network. Anything to come in like that would help. But I think just collectively finally putting the pieces together for a team. Right. Who's this team and what does everybody do? And what do we bring to the table, and how do we collectively? Because right now, it's me. I call, all right, I want to do this session, boom, and putting it together like that.
Right.
But to come together as a team and collectively grow whatever this is that we're growing, and give people opportunities that they can go on and do something else that they're the boss of. You know what I mean? Like, that's really it, just to grow up more bosses out here. Become a boss and grow bosses.
Okay, bet. Man, so I want to give you a chance, man, to just touch on anything that we might didn't address. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the interview at this point, man. Anything that you wanna leave folks with, man.
For sure. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, you know. So I guess I would touch on, you know, the last EP I dropped, In the Rough. And there's some honest music on there, man. I find it hard to listen to now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so honest and vulnerable. And sometimes, you know, even a person who's good at vulnerability may cringe at having to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an uncomfortable feeling. But that project was all about, you know, I was going through a lot. I was dealing with a hard time, still grieving for my brother. And this is 2 years removed from the time. But I'm still pretty much in the same position of how I felt about that.
Right.
So I just sat down and wrote about it, bro. You know, ended up getting laid off last May. So it was just like things were stacking up. Felt like, and I had all of this pressure to produce music and to follow up 9. It's been a year and a half. I ain't got no music. I felt the pressure from all of that. And that project was really my, like, sorry for the wait. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to give y'all music in the best form, but I'm just not a healthy version of myself right now. Right. I didn't even enjoy 9. I didn't get the joy that I feel like I was supposed to, because I was just grinding, going, head down. And I look up and it's like, I don't even, like, I appreciate what we were able to do, but I want to be able to enjoy my music. I want to be able to, you know, I want to make music about my healing and not my hurt so much. But right now you gotta get this hurt because that's what's there, and the healing is in process. I'm like putting in the work to do that, and that's really what that project was about. Just really doing my shadow work, bro. You know, getting the time to myself. You know, my therapist asked me, "Who is Quez?" Right. And I started to name her. I'm a father. She said, "No, those are roles. Right. Who is Quez? Who is Quez?" And I sat there for a minute. I said, "Man, I've always answered that question with that answer, with roles. Right. I didn't even know who to tell I was. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that made me sit down and really like go to war with myself. Yeah. And you know, because that's a slow process. It comes thought by thought. Right. Dave, you know what I mean? Healing it's a journey, and it's one of those things where it's like I said, I used to think that once I felt better, I'm good, and it's not that. You really trying to sew that sore up before you get another sore. Right. You know, I use this analogy all the time that, like, you know, imagine you got a house and it rains and you get a flood from the roof. If you don't patch the flood from the roof, the house is gonna rain three days from now. Right. There's more rain in there. It's gonna rain a year from now. You never patch that hole up. That hole still is there. So you're still susceptible to the environment that's around you. Right. And then you got triggers, and then you don't understand these triggers. You don't understand all these things that you are dealing with, and you get frustrated. Right. And when you don't have understanding, or you don't understand, you get frustrated, you lash out. Right. That's how hurt people. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that project was for me. It was just me letting people know, you know, 9, I came out, it was a little personal. I talked about myself a little, but I talked about the community around me, the tribe. That was talking about how I felt about interacting with the tribe over the years and all the pain that I had to endure. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a hard album. I would encourage people to go check it out, and depending where you are, right? And I think I had told you this. Depending where you are, like where you are in life, like your track for your life might start at like 5. Yeah. But that was kind of the unique thing. Yeah. That I got from it. Like it's just like, because you're like, okay, I'm not at track 1. Okay. But you may be. But you may be. Yeah. Or you have already experienced it. Right. And you may be at the last track. And so that's what I really loved about it, man, because you took us through your evolution. Right? And while I was in it. While you was in it, allowed us to go through our revolution and point where we were and reflect, right, man. So that was like it was therapy, man. Yeah. It was like and I like that mix of like that jazzy but you had some head noggers in there too. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar should have took some notes. Even with the EPs, I don't like it to sound uniform. Yeah. Like I like to show range. Like, you know, on 9, none of it sound the same. In the rough, no song sounds the same. You know what I mean? But they all come from me. And I told you, like, I knew you was good, but I know you was that good. You know what I'm saying? And that, man, what's so crazy is like, that's what gets me excited, because people don't know what I have. Right. Yeah. People don't know what I got in the bag. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's so what you got coming, man? What's like we got like when can we be expecting something else? You know what I'm saying? Don't make us wait another year and a half. This year. The album is coming this year. I started recording the album 2018. Was probably when the first songs were recorded. And then ever since then, I've just kind of wrote songs. You know, when I write a song that sounds like it aligns with the message of the album, I'll see, does it sonically fit in the mix? Right. Does it make sense with the story that I'm trying to tell? Right. You know, and so right now I'm just in that process. I got it. I listened to it on the way here, so it's like I got the roughs done, but we got to get like. That's another reason I call it the EP In the Rough, because like I had the rough version of the project. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm in the rough with the album, you know, sorry for the wait, but all of that kind of aligns together. But man, yeah, I'm excited about this, you know, and I'm saying it's an album, but it really is just my first full length. You know what I'm saying? How many tracks? I won't say it.
Okay,
It's enough.
Okay,
It's
all
more
right,
than it's more than the first 2 EPs combined. You know.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and
All
it's the features. It's some
Okay.
features on there.
Okay, all
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Hey,
It's
man, one day I'm trying to get a feature on the track, man. Gotta get like
Man, I mean,
you know what I'm
listen,
saying?
bro.
Look, let me do an interlude or something. I don't know. I need to be on something.
man, you just put a bug in my.
Hey,
you already
hey,
know we finna make that
hey,
happen,
I
bro.
need to be on something.
Collectively,
Man,
I can see that. We definitely
Okay.
make something happen for sure.
Hey, 'cause you know I taught Blue everything he knows. So.
Shout out to Blue, man.
Shout out to Blue.
That's my. Oh, he done the session for one of the songs on
Okay.
the album. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
All right.
yeah, I went out there and worked with him for a little bit.
Okay,
You know what
all
I
right.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So got to get in the big studio.
Okay,
in LA
hey,
with the
man.
vibes.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
hey, man.
Yeah,
Blue out there
man.
doing his thing.
Yeah, he
When he come back
definitely is.
home, I'm gonna get him on here too.
Man, you got to. He don't talk.
Oh yeah, he don't talk at all.
You know, you'll never know who he is who he is.
Now I got some stories with Blue. I might expose all his dirt. But man, where can people find your information? How can people reach out to you, man? If they want to contact you, whether they want to book you for a show, do a feature with you, or just find out more, like just find your music.
Yeah. So you can find my music, anything, my merch, all of that at quezcan.com, QUEZCAN.com. Shirts, CDs, you know, whatever, anything that I'm selling right now, you can find on there. You can also get the links to all my music from there. Social media, you can literally just type Quez Cantrell and the username is @MotivatedQuez, MOE_Tivated, TIVATED, Quez, QUEZ. So, and man, I always think about change. Every time I gotta tell somebody what my IG name
it's
is,
kinda
I think
long,
about
man.
changing
That's
it.
kinda long,
But
man.
it's been that. Like I don't think I can change that. That's the identity that I've created. You know what I'm saying?
You can always change.
I mean, you can, but
You know, it's never, the longer
You're right.
you wait, the harder it'll be for people to adjust.
For
But
sure.
like you could just today go in and say,
or I can just make myself so big that they'll know
Oh, yeah,
motivated Quez.
that too.
You know what
That-
I'm saying?
that
So
too.
it's like, you know,
that
easy,
too.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
either or, right?
For
But
sure.
man, Quez, man, I appreciate you taking the time, man, and just talking about your journey, talking about what you got coming, man, and look forward to having you back, especially when your project drops.
sure.
Talk more about that, and just to talk more about what's going on
In
musically in the
city.
city.
I feel like, the city, it's so many
it's
layers.
so many layers,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And I'm gonna do something where it's a collective of y'all in here, man. We can talk
got
like
to.
a real, like
Got
have
to.
a conversation for real, man. Because I feel like as you know, what I'm saying me having this platform is part of my job too. If I can bring folks together and have these conversations together, and people who may not, be in the rooms together all the time, they might know each other and,
For sure.
and start, you know what I'm saying, to collaborate that way too. Especially people that's natives from the city. You know what I'm saying?
We all got to get together because we all having the same conversations in
Right,
different places.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we can bring those
Yeah,
conversations together and make a collective
And
voice.
amplify- Man,
You know,
right, exactly.
We
man.
can't do nothing but win.
We gonna
You know what I
win.
mean?
We gonna win.
Yeah, come
We gonna
together.
win.
That's
Yeah,
we
we
know
gonna-
we
we
know
gonna-
what the solution to all this shit is.
Right.
We the solution. It ain't
Right.
about them.
Right,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? They gonna do what they supposed to do, but we the solution. You know what I mean? I want to say thank you, bro.
Ah, man, hey.
Like, thank you, bro, for this platform. I know. This hasn't been hard for you to this hasn't been easy for you to pursue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even the journey that you had to take
Yeah.
to collectively become
Right.
world travel,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Lived in other countries.
All that. Say all that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ask me a question.
Okay, do we have time to
Yeah,
ask a
yeah,
question?
yeah.
So, because I was thinking about this. You lived outside of America as a black man.
Right.
What is that experience like? You know what I'm saying?
Man, how much time we got, man?
You know
But
what I'm saying?
Man, like, so in short, man, so I've lived in China, I lived in Costa Rica, I lived in Paraguay, and I lived in the Philippines. When I say lived, I've lived in the communities, like not no tourist, not no
Wow.
resort, like I'm living amongst the people, right? And so what I've learned is that one, my blackness initially was never associated with American. It was always associated with a specific either the continent of Africa or like Cuba or Afro-Brazilian or something like that, right? And so what I realized the most, man, I think is that all of our black experiences are different, right? And people don't really know much about our experiences like we think they do or they should, right? A lot of it just coming from like propaganda or like movies and things like that. But man, I realized, man, I just really had to be more intentional about expanding my community bubble, because when you just grew up in North Nashville, your whole life. It's a bubble. Your exposure, your perspective is limited.
Yeah.
And so what that traveling did was it expounded my exposure to allow me to think differently about people, about community, and really be able to understand and be a listener, right? And be a learner, right? And know that, like, man, they, like, everybody can face the same issues, but in a different way. And it's just so much more than just my own city, my own state, my own community that I want to touch, that I want to feel, that I want to know, whether I agree with it or not. I want to just be able to see it and witness it.
To know it's real.
To know it's real. And to just talk to other people, like, they speak different languages and they're going to communicate things differently, man. And so, like, and your blackness plays a role in that, right? Because you like, well, okay, like that color, what do they think about just darker skinned people? How does that relate to their culture?
Yeah.
How do I get privilege from that, right? My Black American privilege. Like, so all of these things I'm collecting and learning about doing this journey, man. And it just really the best thing I really could have done, because if I didn't do like Peace Corps, didn't leave, I wouldn't be doing the work that I don't think I would have had the mental capacity to be able to do the work that I'm doing and have conversations, because I think I just would have been limited. Yeah. Like where I could think about cognitively, because I've only got.
You can only think as far as you seen or
you
know or experienced, for sure.
Right. And so, man, that exposure just really just, man, and it just changed me, man.
Yeah.
I don't look at anything the same.
For sure.
And I always look at things from a different angle about like people lived experiences and not just based on their skin color or like their gender, anything like that, man. Like what have you been through? And that's why, like, on this, man, I'm exploring humanities just through a social justice and a community power building lens. But I'm an explorer. Sure. I'm exploring people's lives and what happened to make them get to this point. Because I know, like, that's a big part of it on why you may feel a certain way about something.
For sure.
And I think if we could just do more of that as a community, as a group, as a people, as a culture, and be intentional about it. Like, if I'm from out north, I need to go to West Nashville. Or I need to connect with the Curtis folks. Or I need to connect with the white folks. Yeah. Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we need to be intentional about that. Yeah. And that's what traveling and all those people, all those places allow me to do and really understand, like, that's where it's at, man.
I can only imagine.
Man,
bro.
I've seen so much, done so much, and I went to all those places doing community work, and I had to figure it out, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I ain't come from I was the first one in my family to ever do anything like that, right? So I had to figure out how to do it, and then once I did it, how to leverage it, right? And so this is where it's at, man.
Man, that's what's up,
yeah,
bro.
Man, so
that's what's up, man. Thank you for taking the voyage and bringing it back, bro. I can only imagine.
Because everywhere I went, you know, I'm repping Nashville.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, but you gotta take care of home. Yeah. And it would have been easy for me just to be like, oh, I'm gonna stay in Costa Rica. I got papaya, coconuts in my backyard. You know, like literally, beach is a 5-minute walk. You know what I'm saying? I'm down the street to where they shot Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying? Like, though, this is real life. I'm seeing humpback whales jump out the water. I'm swimming with a pod of 300 spotted dolphins. Wow, I'm swimming with them. And I'm from North Nashville.
My mind, I couldn't even. Right. Like, so, but what made me even think I could do this was like in 2018 I started traveling. But I grew up with traveling anxiety from a bus, one of my buses catching on fire. So it's like, but that expanded my mind. I had never thought about myself in relation to the world. I just thought about and I had a teacher, Miss Huntington. She said, be the change. She told me, be the change you want to see in the world, 10th grade. And that, you know what I'm saying? It made me think about not just who is Quez here, but who's Quez period. Because wherever you go, you're who you are.
I want to take this global.
Yeah,
like this is. I want to do it. I want to do it for the city, and let like this be the foundation to be a core, and like build a platform to where I can put other folks on to have other voices that speak to different audiences and build that out. But I want to have these conversations in China. I want to have these conversations in all the places I live, because culturally, they're going to have a different perspective and view that I want other people to get exposed to. For sure. Right? Around the world. Like, you had these TED Talks. Why come we can't have deep dish conversation talks? Deep dish talks. Deep dish convos. Like, so we going to cook up. Way. Oh, it's on the way. It's on the way, man. So, no, man, I can go on all day about this. Sure. And so, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do an interview soon, man. Yeah. We're gonna get into it. For sure. But nah, man, I appreciate you, fam. Man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, bro.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah.